Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudler.
This is Sebastian Olfner.
It's Marc-Andrea Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the GTL podcast.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Day 5 in the books, and what a day 5 it was. So many upsets at the Australian Open that there is a huge list we need to go through. I just can't quite believe it, JG.
I mean, the one big thing I've got to start with is that I'm disappointed I was unable to watch as much tennis as I would usually do for a Grand Slam. Unfortunately, with work commitments, I was unable to be at home and watch as much as I would usually. And I feel like I've missed probably the best day of the Australian Open. A summary is, in the men's, we only had one match that went straight sets. I believe that was Nuno Borges.
Yeah.
Everything else was 4 or more sets. We had the longest tiebreak I've ever seen on the women's. I did catch a little bit of that match, I must admit. And all in all, some really big players leaving the event. Of course, I've got to start with Rybakina going out. She was my champion. I really thought she was going to win the Australian Open. I can't be too harsh on her. I thought at times she could have done a little bit better on some of their match points, but Blinkova played incredibly. And if Blinkova does continue like that, she's going to go far this event. We always have it on the women's tour at Grand Slams. A player who just arrives in good form and who plays really well can knock out a lot of big players. And that's exactly what happened with Blinkova. She was playing like a top 10 player. And I don't know if you want to start with the tweets for that one, because it is.
Let's just go to that one first, because it was incredible. It really, literally was incredible.
I think it's got to be the highlight of the day in terms of matches, something I've never quite seen before. And at 42 points, the final set tiebreak between Anna Blinkova and Elena Rybakina won 22-20 by Blinkova. It's the longest tiebreak in a singles match in Grand Slam history. So history was made today. Rybakina, I think the chances of the amount of match points, especially on serve, I did have a probability. I don't have the tweet to hand now. It's something like 45,000 to 1. So
Crazy.
The chances of the players doing what they did today and not taking the match points on their serve is about 50,000 to 1. Let's round it up.
And especially as one of them's Rybakina, probably the best server on the tour, you'd think the odds would be even
on some
less.
of the match points, though, she didn't really do too much wrong, and Blinkova just kept running and chasing everything down. One of the craziest matches I've ever seen, and I was lucky to watch most of the tiebreak in my defence. However, I did miss a lot of the other match and a lot of the other ones, because there was another big marathon match in Medvedev as well, which was insane. But I don't know if you want to speak about this. I know I'm talking a lot.
That's all right. I know. I'm just absolutely shocked. Blinkova's one of those players who can spoil a bracket, though. I think we've had it in tournaments before. She can turn it on. She's a big hitting player and has a lot of desire. And Rybakina didn't look great in her first match. This second match, I expected her to come out of her shell a bit more. I think she just met somebody who you just don't want to meet if you're not in your top form. And Blinkova, credit to her. I mean, everybody probably expected Rybakina to come and take that tiebreak based upon her big serving and her big match temperament. But it didn't happen. Blinkova just created a story right now, which it seems to be today was the day of the shock, the day of the upset. And it looks like we've got the long matches back again. We had yesterday where they all shortened again, and today they've all gone long again. So maybe we're having a day on and a day off. I don't know what's going on.
Well, let's go and look at some of the players out. So these are the seeds out after 2 rounds at the Australian Open. So not just today, just in total. So we've got Rybakina, what was today? Pegula, was that today?
Yep, that was today.
Seems it's all blurring now, but I do. We was talking about earlier, that's why.
Yeah.
Jabeur, which wasn't. We got Sakari, Runa today, Samsonova, Kasatkina, Kudermetova, Garcia, Alexandrova, TFO, Jari, Linette, Vekic, Astea, Sarundolo, Potapova, Davidovich, Vakina, Kalanina, Struff, Mertens, Mercetti, Zhu, Wang, Bauskova, Bublik, Fernandez, Lehechka. Sounds like a Sounds like a Harry Potter spell when you say it really fast.
That's it. Well,
but 19 out of 32 on the women's draw and 9 out of 32 on the men's draw. The biggest shock out of the lot, I don't know if you would agree with me, but it is...
I go Jess Pegula.
No, mine is Rybakina. I did really gave her not... I was not worried at all. I didn't think Blinkova was going to take a set. I didn't think she would trouble her. And questions now need to be asked of Rybakina playing far too much, maybe, before the Australian Open. She won an event, played another one, didn't need to do it.
No.
I think she just needed to take that week off, and I don't think she would have lost to Blinkova. It was fine margins. There was nothing separating them. Credit to Blinkova. I'm not going to take anything away from her, but that was the biggest shock out of the whole event for me. And you don't agree because you went with someone else.
I feel like the Pegula one, in the fact how convincing the loss was as well, that really shocked me. At least Rybakina gave it a bit of fight and came up against somebody who just in inspired form. Pegula just went out in straight sets to Burrell. I mean, 6-4, 6-2. It was embarrassing.
Hour 12.
Yeah, embarrassing for me. And Pegula, this is somebody you expect to see in the, well, I say at least the quarterfinals. She's one of the people with like Andrei Rublev on the men's side who struggles in slams come the second week, and she hasn't even done as well as get to the second week. She's done a SAR career essentially, and I know people are going to be mad at me for comparing the two, but it's another one in the same category.
And look at them stats: 31 unforced errors, only 9 winners for Pegula.
It's terrible.
That was a really poor one. So we got Jose here saying top 10 players left before the women's single, third round at the Australian Open. Iga and Bailey, we'll touch on that just next. Sabalenka cruising, Goff cruising, and Ostapenko, it says there, still playing round 2.
Well, she's not still playing. She went through in 3,
but she
but
won.
It was very like touch and go.
Oh, this is an old tweet.
Because
I thought this was the recent one. I think there was another one, but this is an older tweet.
Yeah,
Ostapenko did in fact win in the third, so
against
she managed to get through.
Yeah.
But Saba, Goff, cruising, Iga. Let's touch on that because she almost went out as well.
Yes, I mean it was.
And this is Danielle Collins' last season on tour.
I always thought it was going to be a potential banana skin. Danielle Collins been to the final before, looked great when she was playing in that year, and she's always a threat, big hitter. And it's nice to see the fact she was actually able to run Iga very close, because I know that she's played Iga on a few occasions and got absolutely battered. So this one, Australia's obviously the place where she likes to play, and the fact that Iga came back from, what is that? Three break points at 4-2 down in that third set. Well played to Iga. I mean,
yeah, she was 4-1 down, and then as the image shows there on the screen, are you sharing that one?
yeah.
Yep. You can see 3 break points at 2-4 in the third set. She come back. She almost went out.
Yeah.
It could have been Iga. You could have been looking at this after today.
Well, Saba
would have been like. But then who would have been on the top half? Ostapenko.
Well, this is it.
Ostapenko, probably the biggest winner, I think, from today.
Well, if Ostapenko had
She
gone out
almost
today,
went out.
Iga would have probably been rubbing her hands together with Rybakina and Ostapenko both going out. But Ostapenko's hung in there now with the knowledge that she could potentially meet Iga and she could potentially knock Iga out again. Because Iga's nearly gone out there. And Ostapenko, she came up against an Aussie. Tomjanovic, normally pretty good, but she still got it done in that third set. And Ostapenko just blows hot and cold no matter what set. You never know what you're going to get. So,
But not a great performance from Iga. From
No.
what I saw, I thought Collins was good. Last season, she had that extra motivation to put everything on the court.
yeah.
But Iga, the main thing is she's in the draw, and you'd expect her not to play as recklessly as today.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think that one was a bit of a warning, and I feel that she now needs to go back to the drawing board and prepare for her next match, which is going to be against Noskova, who had a really tough match against Kessler as well. There were lots of tough matches.
It's all close, all of them close. More so on the men's than the women's. They were really close. If you just read that one out.
Yeah, this is another statistic. It's only 2 players have reached the women's singles third rounds at each of the last 5 majors, and that's Iga and Saba, the top 2. So that just goes to show how strong they are, the 1 and 2, who are always the best 2 women in the draw, it would seem. And they look like they could be on a collision course. Saba it's going to take a lot to stop her. Maybe an inspired Mira Andreeva could be the only thing, and Saba falling off a bit on her serve. That's the only thing that I can see.
I'm getting behind her now, Mira Andreeva, to win the whole thing.
Why
That's who
not?
I'm going to support now. Rybakina's out. She was my pick, so I'm going to have to go big on Mira. Is that all for the women's? Or we've got Raducanu?
I mean,
We'll go to Raducanu at the end.
Yeah.
Then. Let's speak about Daniel Medvedev
yes.
on the story of closeness.
I'm not worried.
Because
where do we start with this one?
3:39 a.m. That's the way we're going to start. Not the score. At 3:39 a.m. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and this unbelievable day 5 is finally over. And luckily, it was a bagel in the 5th.
Lucky.
Because
yeah.
if it wasn't, and we saw like a super tie break in the 5th, it could have finished about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Medvedev, I think he's just using that amazing gas tank that he had, and that was the thing that won him the match. He was down 2-0 against Rusevori in great form, and the fact he was able to just grind his way back, and that 4th set tie-break was the end for Rusevori.
Oh.
I mean, there's just no way he could have won the 5th for me after losing.
It finished him.
Yeah.
You didn't get it.
It took me a second. He
was finished after today, Rusevori.
That's it. Most definitely was.
I did tell you, though, that Rusevori would run him close.
You even said he might take even a couple of sets. So
I
fair
said
play.
Medvedev in 5. I think it was possible. I've been big on Rusevori for a while.
You've
I
been
said it's
spot
gonna
on
be
with
tough.
your predictions in this tournament, so I'll give you some
Don't
credit.
know about that,
No,
huh?
but like you've said a few ones, even if they've been off the stream, and you've said, I think that they'll take a set. Like Tommy Paul, that's
Yeah.
another one we can speak
Yeah.
about. You said, I think he'll beat Draper
Yeah.
quite convincingly.
Yeah, I was pretty confident in that based off what I saw.
Another good pick.
And Tommy Paul did beat Draper in 4 sets, so we're not going to now see Draper Alcaraz. You can go check out our podcast yesterday to prove that I was saying the exact same thing.
Yes.
Just I'm not talking nonsense. Holger Rune going out, disappointing.
Yeah, I mean,
Big loss for him, that one.
this is one of the things with Holger Rune as well. I know that we keep on throwing him into the mixer with all of these other top players. I was having a think about Holger Rune earlier on today, and I was actually thinking like he could be on like a similar trajectory to maybe a Sinner, I think. Whereas he's obviously Sinner took a bit of time to start winning some big like tour events. And then he's hopefully going to start doing well in the slams. Like, obviously, he got to semi-final Wimbledon. I think Rune's going to be on that trajectory. At the moment, he's still not great in the slams. Going out to people like Cazot and obviously Sinner, he was going out to people like Altmaier. I feel that that's going to change for him, but it's going to take another year. I think that he's on that trajectory, but he's not quite at... We can't include him in the conversation with Yannick Sinner, I don't think, or Alcaraz. I feel that he needs to grow some more.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I think he's just not quite there yet. And we're going to see him have more losses like this. Just go back to Medvedev, because we rushed past that one quickly.
Go
It's
on,
probably the best match of the men's.
Yes.
In this so far, probably. I think in terms of drama and excitement and how late it finished. Did you see the bit where Medvedev lost his cool completely and started playing bowling on the court?
I mean, why not? I mean,
Just free.
I mean,
He knocked both bottles over, by the way. He hit both of them with a racket.
good at 10-pin bowling, apparently.
He said to the crowd, honestly, guys, I would not be here. You are strong.
Yeah, I mean,
He was shocked that people were still there. And he also posted on social media not too long ago his watch, saying it's late.
Nice watch, though, isn't it? What's the brand? Bovet or Beauvais? I don't know how you say it. It says it on the bottom.
Yeah.
You scroll down.
A Beauvais 1822, the watch.
Yeah, so pretty expensive, I can imagine. I'm sure he probably got that free for posting that. Who knows?
Yeah, but is this going to impact his tournament now moving forward? Or can he just reset? He's physically very fit.
I don't
Medvedev.
think that this will worry him. I think he'll be a bit annoyed that it took so long to get going and how late the match finished. I think that the lateness of the match finishing will affect him more than how long the match was.
Yep.
That's my personal opinion. But obviously he's got some tough matches in his little section. Dimitrov, another person going through earlier on today and doing it in style. I think he dropped a set, though, unfortunately for him. I thought he might go through in straight sets, but it's only one set, and he was playing an Australian in Kokkinakis, and I don't think you can be too mad at him for that. Kokkinakis really good if he serves well for a full set. So solid from Dimmy there.
Yeah. Any more tweets, or should we go through the matches?
Carlos Alcaraz, I want to bring this one up. Obviously, we were speaking about Holger Rune, and we should speak about Alcaraz because he's one of the 2 Spanish players that are left in the singles, round 3, and it's their worst since 1999.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I guess because there's just been the Verdascos, Lopez. These guys aren't here now. They always had a little
Fokina out
run.
now.
Fokina went out.
Yeah.
Munar went out.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit crazy, isn't it, to think?
Yeah.
Obviously, no Rafa there, but
I don't think they've got that many great players coming through, do they?
he had a good
Spain
match.
Spain are missing. Like Italy, I feel have a lot more talent coming through than what Spain
Yes.
do, definitely. But well done to Alcaraz, tough of opponent in Sonego, got through it in 4.
His 200th match on the tour, and I mean, it gets a bit weird, doesn't it, that they keep on saying, look, we can't keep comparing Nadal and Alcaraz, and then you keep getting these stats, 200 matches into their professional career, and they've got the exact same win-loss record. I mean, 157 wins, 157 wins, 43 losses. What? Is this not bizarre?
It is weird. It is strange. I feel Carlos, though. I think he's going to... I don't know. I think he's going to... I generally believe he will be one of the big tennis players we'll be talking about in 20 years' time.
Definitely.
Let's see how it all plays out. It's so early to say, but it just feels like that's going to happen. Let's end on Raducanu, then we'll go through the other results, because Raducanu lost today against Wang. A winnable match. And after the match, I'm not going to read it all, but she was basically... You can read this on Twitter. She was basically moaning, complaining, saying that she lost because of an illness. I'm sick of it. I am honestly sick of it. Raducanu turned a corner. She did all right in that second set. We started seeing a better level from her. We saw some fight from her.
Yeah.
Because was she not down a break in that set?
Yeah, she was. She was down a break in the second, came back.
This was in the morning, early morning for us, so I was watching a bit as I was coming into work. And I'm sick of the excuses. She can never lose without being injured. She may have had some physical problems, but you can't always... If someone says after every loss, physically I wasn't there, or I felt a bit ill, or I had a problem here, it comes a point where you're not going to buy that. No. You can't always have the problem. Sometimes you can just lose. Wang played well.
Yeah.
Raducanu should have won, but Raducanu did what she always does and couldn't handle the occasion and missed out. She won the US Open, but since then, she's just not been able to compete with the top players whatsoever, probably because she's not put enough work in off the court when she's not playing matches. Is she dedicated fully to tennis? I don't think so. And we're seeing it yet and yet again, time and time, and moaning about illnesses and injuries. There's going to be people in the comments who think I'm being harsh, or they're going to be frustrated with what I'm saying, but this is my opinion, and this is how I feel about the situation. I would rather her just come out and say I've been beaten by the better player.
Better look, isn't
Someone
it?
who works harder than me.
Someone
who actually wants to win more than what I do.
I would have preferred the statement to have been, I've come back.
But are you starting to see this now? Because you always used to be a big defender of Emma.
Well, I don't like
in these same
this.
scenarios.
I don't like
when
this
I was calling this out 2 years ago.
She could have gone down the approach of just saying, this is my sort of comeback tournament, and I had a good first round match, and I felt really good. Second round, maybe it's just a little bit too much for me right now, and I was beaten by somebody who's in better form than me. I'll come back and fight stronger for the next event, and hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be at the top of the game. But she didn't. She came out and said this. I'm disappointed that she went out, but this makes me not miss her as much as I was going to. So I'm a bit sad, but you can't just... No one ever looks upon you in a good light if you have an excuse for losing, ever. And you go into fighting, go into any sport.
But not constantly with an excuse. There can't always be
but you shouldn't
one.
even... I don't even think you should come out with excuses even straight after a match, or even after a fight, or after anything. Let it settle down. And if there's an excuse a few months later and you want to just suddenly release the fact you had an injury, or you release the fact that's fine, but not straight after, because it sort of rains on the parade of the person who just beat you. And it was a fair win. She was complaining about the wind on court as well a lot, that it was the same for both players, but unfortunately, that's the way it is sometimes. The conditions don't suit you. They didn't suit her. She was overhitting a lot with the wind behind her, and that was where a lot of the errors came from.
Right, let's go through some other matches.
You want to go men's or women's? Start with the
Well,
men's.
there's not. I don't have to go through all of them because we spoke about a lot of them. But let's start with Norrie and Zverev because both of them did an incredible comeback from 2 sets down. Do I look at them two and think they can go really far? Not just convinced on
just
either
Norrie
of them.
down from 2 sets down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Zverev, because Zverev won the first set, didn't he? But he still had to come back. He was 2-1 down. Norrie did the big comeback. Close. I still don't feel like either are going to push the top players at all. That's my assessment. Rude 1 in 5, not that convincing. 10-7 in the super tie break.
Yeah.
Moving down, great win for Borges.
Yeah,
fantastic player he is, and he's proven a lot of doubters that he can play on the hard courts.
Morgado would be absolutely...
Yeah, he'll be pleased with that.
So happy with that, I'm sure. Shang moving through. He's at Alcaraz's next match, in case anybody's wondering. That should be entertaining.
Yeah, shame for Nagao. I think he ran his race a little bit. I did think Shang was going to win when we spoke the other day, 2 days ago. But he'll be pleased with the amount of money he's now got in his bank account because it was a lot more than the €900 not too long ago.
Brilliant for him.
Moving down to Hurkacz, he won in 5 against Mensik. Mensik played incredibly well, pushed him, was 2 sets to 1 up. And
Medvedev would be happy about that because he might have to face Hurkacz at some point.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are going to be shattered if they do get to face each other because they've played a lot of tennis so far. Moving on to the women's, we've spoke about a lot of these. The big one's Svitolina, we've not spoken about. She did really well to win in straight sets.
Yes.
And Navarro did well to come back. I think she was down a break maybe, or should break points against her in the third.
Yes,
that was also this morning. And she managed to fight through that and come back. Stevens, massive result against Kasatkina, underdog. And could we see like a Sloane Stevens surprise some people and get to a Grand Slam final again?
Well, she shut me up because I had her going out first round in my bracket and she's looking pretty good, to be honest. Yeah. So fair play, Sloane. I stand corrected.
Another one who could surprise us, and we shouldn't be surprised, Azarenka.
Yeah, there she
is. Still doing it. The player with one of the most titles as an active WTA player. Is she going to win the whole thing? Why not?
It's up against Ostapenko next. If she beats Penko, then
because she's on the nice bit, isn't she? Without Rybakina now.
Yeah, she's got Iga.
She'll beat
at some point.
Iga's struggling.
Well, there you go. This is a 2-time
Svitolina
Australian
might
Open
beat
champ.
Iga. Yeah,
she's won the Australian Open twice. She's got that caliber, and she's got mum power these days, hasn't she?
Yeah, exactly that. But let's wrap it up there anyway. We've been through all of the matches. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you agree that the Rybakina match was the best match of the day? I think it was, but Medvedev certainly run it close. And of course, let us know what you think about the event now as a whole. Are you looking at it through a different lens? Certainly the women's, I think, after today, you can look at with a different lens because some big players have gone out, and I'm interested to see if you still fancy Iga as much as you did pre-event. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Go listen to us on Spotify if you want to hear just the audio, and we'll be back for more matches tonight for us, tomorrow for you maybe, and they're going to be Djokovic in the morning, I believe, and tonight Anisimova Badoza at midnight. So they're the 2 matches I've got scheduled in. We've also got Coco Gauff Parks. Maybe we'll try and get some cover for, but we'll see how it goes. But thanks, everyone, and we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, see you later, everyone. More upsets to come, maybe.
Hope not.